Welcome back to Let's Chat About. Today's guest is the fabulous Darleen Priday. She is the founder and CEO of DP Consults, and she's passionate about empathetic and relational sales. We're talking about collaboration, not competition today, and something that I think you're also going to laugh about a little bit. I cannot wait till we get to that. But before we do, she has spent over 25 years in leadership roles, and she found that so much of sales was inauthentic and forced. And I feel like anybody that's followed me for any amount of time knows that I am not here for that toxic, inauthentic, yucky sales vibe. So Darleen really empowers leaders to gain their confidence to sell and to be authentic. And it's one of the many reasons I have just loved chatting with her. So I'm so glad you're here on the show, Darleen. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Megan. Yes, we definitely connected very quickly because we have that same alignment of, caring for people and all of those different things. So I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, absolutely. So let's just dive right in. One of the subjects that you recommended us chat about is that collaboration over competition. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on the subject.
Sure. So it's been a journey for me. I feel like when I was younger, and also it was like, the atmosphere too of where you're working and competition and people that were doing the same thing was looked upon as almost like an enemy, right? Like we have to be better. And obviously you always want to improve yourself and increase your offerings and different things like that. But what has happened in the past several years with me networking more and also coming into my own with my own voice, like, and I'm a little bit old to do that, but hey, you could do it at any time, right? Is like I started to realize like the people that really were so helpful and pouring into my life and so generous were people that were in the same space as me.
Mhm.
And I also found that, even if you do something the same as someone else or in the same space, everybody has a unique offering. And if you're not the right person, passing them along to someone else who's going to be that perfect fit is not only rewarding personally, but it also builds trust with your audience, with your clients, and to other people. And they're more likely to reciprocate that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a beautiful just kind of overview of it all. And I've experienced the same thing myself that, it's like the more I am open to suggesting someone work with someone else or referring to somebody else, it's like the more comes back to me,
Yes.
right? It's so awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I also think it's like that scarcity mindset versus generous mindset. When you operate with a generous mindset that there is room for everybody
Mhm.
and you really respect what other people are doing versus being threatened by it or feeling like you have to grab because there's not enough, your whole mind shift changes and you also have a better experience and your client can sense that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I work with my clients on is, approaching the sales process or the marketing process from, a place of this is what I have to help you. This is what I am offering you, not I need you to give me money because I need this, that, or the other. Because people can really pick up on that. It's really interesting.
Well, also, like if you think about it, if somebody approaches you that way, how would you feel? Your guard is instantly up. You feel
Yeah.
like they have an angle. And even if they have a genuinely good offer, I'm always suspicious of it. That's the way I operate. And that's why I say empathetic sales, right? I
Yeah.
put myself in the other person's position. They want to be heard, they want to be understood. And if I'm, and again, comes with, and I know it's age, and I know people learn this a lot sooner. I'm just a slow learner, but like the more that you operate authentically, and if you're not the right fit, getting them the best person to help them really just creates that relationship and makes it less transactional.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I agree. I know the last thing I want to be is like the person that feels like a used car salesman. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yes, for sure. And nobody wants to just feel like you're invested. I think we've all had those conversations where people are very interested in what you're saying until you say you're not using their service. And then the whole tone
Right.
changes and nobody wants to feel played like that. Like they're just, they're in it for one thing and then they're moving on.
Right. I agree. I agree. So I feel like this might be related, but one of the other topics that you brought up was why you cannot shop at Walmart. And I'm so intrigued to know if that has part of the whole, if that plays into the collaboration versus competition thing, or if there's something completely unrelated going on here.
This is completely unrelated.
Oh, I
And
love it. Okay.
it's completely unrelated. What you have to know is like, I am from a crazy Italian family, and me and my younger brother, especially, we call ourselves the freak magnets. If there is an anomaly, if there's somebody like a little, like it doesn't matter. They will come to us. They will seek us out. Every time I step into Walmart, regardless, there is an issue.
Oh, no.
People don't believe it, but like people have been with me and they're like, you're absolutely right. Like so I'll give you one quick story because I know, like I told you, I could take up the whole time
I know.
about it. We just came back from vacation and typically I shop at Walmart for like the staple stuff, like toilet paper and that type of stuff, not really food or like, meat or anything like that. But we had nothing in the refrigerator or freezer. So I was leaning over and I was looking like ground turkey and I hear a woman yelling like, stop looking at me. Why are you looking at me? So I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I look up and she's looking at me and she has like, those big black glasses, like cataract glasses.
Yeah.
And so I like turned because I'm like, surely, like I was not like I was looking in the freezer. And so I turn around and she's like looking at me and she was like, she's staring at me. Now everybody's looking at me
Oh,
like,
no.
like I did something. And she was like, she's staring at me. So this other woman who was with her was like, she's not looking at you. And it's like she starts to pull her away. So I just take my cart and I like put my head down and I like go all the way to the back of the store.
Yeah.
But I have this thing where if I get nervous, like I have inappropriate laughter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now I'm laughing hysterically because while I should be probably fearful, I'm laughing.
Right.
And now I feel like I'm going to wet my pants. And now I'm like in an aisle and I call my husband and I'm like, this lady thinks somebody, blah, blah, blah. She says I'm staring at her. And he, being a smart aleck, I'll use my words,
Yeah.
is like, well, why are you staring at her? I'm like, you don't understand. Like, you need her description. Like, if I go missing, you need to get me. Like, stop kidding around.
Yeah.
My phone dies.
Oh, no.
So now I'm like, oh my gosh, like now I'm like surveying, like, can I get to the front of the store? Can I check out safely? Do I just run to my car? Do I wet my pants? Like, what is happening here?
Wow.
So then I'm like walking up and I see her like in an aisle. So I have to go around the whole other side of the store. I do the self checkout. I shoot to my car and I got home. So that was it. But like, that's just one of the stories like
Oh, my goodness.
that I cannot walk into Walmart because that happens all the time.
Oh, my goodness.
And I have like 10 more like that.
Oh, that's so wild. So here's a question do you think that there's something like about your personality and your brother's personality that invites that kind of thing? Or do you just look like a nice, friendly person so people lamprey onto you? Or
Well, there has to be something in the atmosphere that draws these people. Like it has to be. So I don't know what exactly it is, but we both have that curse. So
because I will definitely say that myself and my kiddo will just have people just like randomly start telling us their life story and just like info dump on us. And I'm like, I don't know you. I'm never going to see you again. Who are you?
Yes, and me and my daughter have that as well. And so does my brother, but my brother is a little bit more abrupt. Like he'll just walk away. Like I feel like, oh, I'm invested here. Like
yeah.
their story, like they're like, wait a minute, what happened with your kids? Like,
right?
so I do get that too. So I don't know if that's the same type of attraction
I don't know.
or if it's different. But yes, I do have people just share their life stories with
Oh my
me.
gosh. That's so wild. Yeah, my aversion to Walmart, I think does include some of the people that shop there because I will say there is no one bolder than someone who is in a rush in Walmart and they will just kind of bull rush you.
Yes.
And and use that cart as a weapon. But I know in the past they didn't treat their employees all that great. So I'm like, I'll just go to Target. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that could be as well, but again, I just can't. It seems to only be Walmart too. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
where all the bigger issues
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So
Oh, funny.
yeah,
Oh my goodness. Well, that didn't have anything to do with collaboration or competition,
no.
except maybe for like, I don't know, competition for the craziest person story.
Yeah, that I will win a lot. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely say because as I was telling that story, I have a couple of others, and I'm like, yeah, I think I have that one locked up, but
yeah.
not that it's a
Oh,
competition. But you know what? Like, I think so. Part of it, I think, when people share is like, I am empathetic and I
yeah,
do care about people, and so I think when you're open to that, just like you and your daughter, like I think people are like they sense
yeah,
that you have that caring spirit, so they want to share, like good,
yeah,
bad, or indifferent. So I think that is why people feel safe to overshare. And I'm sure you have this too. Sometimes my sales calls, like it's almost like therapy session for
yeah,
the client because they're stressed, they're overwhelmed, and they need somebody to empathize with them and give them some solution.
yeah.
So, I could definitely see that.
Absolutely. No, I've definitely had sales calls and I've definitely had even client calls when my clients have, brought me in like for marketing or back when I was doing copywriting and it would be, a call and it would be more therapy session than anything else, because yeah, people can sense that empathy and that compassion there.
And I'm really invested in the people that I
Mhm.
talk to, even if they're not a client, like especially like if they're like I love a good like underdog. Like I love a good success story. And I love to see people succeed. So even if they're not using me, like if I could give them some kind of helping hand to succeed, and then I'm like, well, fill me in. Like it's like even if you never use me, like I want to see you. I have a couple of people that I just like have followed for years, and I'm like, when this one guy, he was just a doll, and I just loved him, and he couldn't afford the services and different things like that, but he's like a young chef, and he's like, I said, I'm going to see you on Oprah one day, and he's like, and you're going to be in the audience. I was like, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love that.
People can sense when you really are sincere and
Yeah.
authentic and really care.
Yeah, absolutely. They absolutely can. Oh, that's so cool. I love that so much. The vibes are just awesome. Well, I'm going to pop your website up here so people
Yeah.
can connect with you there. But how else can people connect with you online?
Sure. So I'm big on LinkedIn. So Darleen Priday, and it's Darleen and Priday. And if you connect with me, I can send you a link if you need a consultation, or you can go to the website and there's a form to fill out and there's a free consultation. What I do is I help mainly coaches, but service providers that really feel like sales is icky. And there is a different way, and there's a more authentic way and a more pleasant way to do it. So I have a structure where I'm able to give them the strategy for them to just go share what they do and get the right clients in.
That is so, so great. And obviously, meeting them with so much empathy, so much compassion, and that sense of collaboration. And I think that's just amazing.
Absolutely. I'm not the right person. I have an incredible network of people that I can refer to as well.
I love that. I love these big networks.
Yes.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Darlene, for being here. It has been so fun. And I've got to hear more of those Walmart stories some other time.
You, Megan. I appreciate it.
Of course. And I'll have all of your information in the caption below. So if you're watching and want to connect with Darlene, do so in those links. Thanks
Wonderful.
again.
Thank you.
Bye.